All right. Are you ready to dive into the world of Lady Gaga?
Always ready for a good deep dive.
I knew you'd be on board with this one. Her story is fascinating.
Absolutely. From pop icon to Oscar winner to jazz collaborator.
It's incredible, and there's just so much to unpack.
Where do you even begin with someone like Lady Gaga?
Well, I thought we could start at the beginning. You know, before the fame, before the meat dress.
Before she was Lady Gaga.
Right. She was born Stefani Germanotta. Did you know that she was playing piano by age 4?
I did read that. And writing songs not long after. It seems like music was always her destiny.
It does, doesn't it? But the transition from Stefani to Lady Gaga, that's what I find really interesting.
It's a masterclass in creating a persona. It wasn't just a name change.
Yeah, it was this whole visual and artistic statement. Like she was announcing to the world, this is who I am, take it or leave it.
Exactly. And the world definitely took it.
Yeah.
2008 hits, the fame drops.
And just dance takes over the airwaves. I remember hearing that song for the first time. It was impossible not to dance.
Poker Face, too. Those songs were everywhere. But I think what really set Lady Gaga apart was her willingness to challenge the norms of pop music.
Oh, totally. She wasn't afraid to be weird, to be provocative. And that really paved the way for other artists to embrace their individuality.
Absolutely. She kind of ushered in this new era of pop where being different was celebrated.
And speaking of pushing boundaries, can we talk about the meat dress at the 2010 VMAs?
Oh, the meat dress. I mean, how could we not? That was a moment.
What do you think she was trying to say with that? I've heard so many different interpretations over the years.
Well, some people saw it as a commentary on the meat industry. Others thought it was a statement about the objectification of women's bodies.
Yeah, it was definitely open to interpretation, and it definitely got people talking.
It certainly did. Whether you loved it or hated it, you couldn't ignore it. But, Lady Gaga is so much more than just shock value.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, look at the Telephone music video with Beyoncé. That was a visual masterpiece.
It felt more like a mini-movie than a music video.
Right. It had this whole narrative, these amazing visuals, and incredible choreography. I love that scene in the diner with the poisoned honey.
So good. Telephone was a real testament to Lady Gaga's ability to blend music and storytelling.
And she's not just a pop star either. I mean, she won an Oscar for Shallow from A Star is Born.
Yeah. That performance at the Oscars was incredible. So raw and emotional.
And then there's her collaboration with Tony Bennett. Talk about range.
I know. That was such a surprising and delightful pairing. They had such great chemistry together.
Their duets are so beautiful. It's clear that she has a deep respect for jazz music.
And she's a talented jazz vocalist in her own right.
Yeah.
But I also think those collaborations were important for her artistic growth.
They showed her versatility and introduced her to a whole new audience.
Exactly. And speaking of pushing boundaries, her Enigma residency in Las Vegas.
Oh my gosh, yes. That was a spectacle on a whole other level.
Man.
Imagine the technology, the visuals, the costume.
It must have been an incredible experience.
I've heard it was truly unforgettable. But, her journey hasn't always been easy.
That's true. She's been very open about her struggles with chronic pain and mental health.
And the pandemic forced her to cancel her Chromatica Ball tour.
Which was a huge disappointment for both her and her fans. But I admire her honesty.
Me too. She doesn't shy away from the hard stuff.
It makes her so relatable.
Right. It reminds us that even superstars are human. They face real-life challenges just like the rest of us.
It's refreshing to see someone in her position be so vulnerable.
Definitely. And it helps to destigmatize conversations about mental health.
Absolutely. Especially for young people who might be struggling with similar issues.
It's a powerful reminder that it's okay to not be okay.
Exactly. And that asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness.
It's interesting how she's been through so many transformations throughout her career, from glamorous pop star to jazz chanteuse to raw, vulnerable performer.
It's like she's constantly reinventing herself.
And yet there's always this core of authenticity that shines through.
Yeah. She's never afraid to experiment, to take risks.
But at the end of the day, it's always about expressing herself authentically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what makes her so compelling. She's not just an entertainer, she's an artist.
Absolutely. But Lady Gaga is more than just music. She's a powerful voice for change.
Right. She's used her platform to advocate for so many important causes.
Her activism is a huge part of her story, and I think that's what we should explore next. What do you think?
Let's do it. Well, her activism, it's like woven into the fabric of her career.
Right from the start, really.
Yeah, I mean, think about the Born This Way Foundation.
Oh, absolutely. Such an important organization.
Providing so many resources and support for young people.
empowering them to embrace their individuality and promoting mental wellness.
And it all stemmed from that anthem, Born This Way.
Seriously, that song became such a powerful symbol of self-acceptance.
It really solidified her role as an advocate for LGBTQ plus rights.
And she doesn't shy away from using her voice to speak out against injustice.
Oh, absolutely. She's been so vocal about so many important issues.
Remember that powerful speech she gave at the Women's March in 2017?
Oh, yeah. That said a really strong message.
It did, and it wasn't just words. She backed it up with action.
Oh, yeah. She's been involved in raising funds for HIV/AIDS research.
Supporting organizations that fight for LGBTQ plus equality.
It's really inspiring to see her using her platform to make a real difference.
Because, sometimes celebrity activism can feel a bit performative.
Right, like it's more about image than substance.
But with Lady Gaga, it just feels different.
It feels genuine.
Like it's deeply rooted in her values.
And it's consistent.
Yeah, it's not just showing up for a photo op.
She's putting in the work behind the scenes.
And I think that's why it resonates so strongly with her fans.
They see her walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
It's that authenticity that really makes her a powerful advocate.
Because it's not just about her, it's about inspiring others to get involved.
To use their voices to speak out against injustice.
To create positive change in their own communities.
And that's what's so amazing about her. It's like she manages to balance all these different aspects of her career.
The music, the performance, the activism.
And do it all with such passion and integrity.
She's constantly evolving and challenging herself, but always staying true to her core values.
That sense of authenticity is really what shines through in everything she does.
It's what makes her such a compelling figure.
Because it's not just about the spectacle, the costumes, the catchy tunes.
It's about the message she's conveying, the emotions she evokes.
And the sense of community she fosters among her fans.
That's what makes her impact so profound.
It goes beyond music. It's about creating a space where people feel seen and accepted.
A space where they can celebrate their individuality.
And find strength in their shared experiences.
She's given a voice to the voiceless.
Championed the underdog.
And reminded us all that it's okay to be different.
It's fascinating how she's achieved all of this in a relatively short amount of time.
It really is. It makes you wonder what's next for her.
Well, there are rumors of new music on the horizon.
Always something brewing with Lady Gaga.
I'm sure she'll continue to surprise us.
Oh, I have no doubt.
But beyond the specific projects, I'm curious to see how she continues to evolve as an artist and an advocate.
Me too. It feels like she's just getting started.
Her story is a reminder that we can all be agents of change.
That we can use our voices to make a difference.
And that we should never be afraid to embrace our individuality.
Well said. So as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of Lady Gaga, I think it's important to consider her overall legacy.
Absolutely. What do you think she'll be remembered for?
I think she'll be remembered as an artist who redefined what it means to be a pop star.
She really has pushed the boundaries of what's possible.
And she's done it all while staying true to herself.
That's what I find so inspiring about her. It's like she's saying you don't have to conform to succeed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can be authentic, you can be different, and you can still achieve your dreams.
And she's used her platform to uplift others, to advocate for those who are often marginalized.
She's really shown us the power of using your voice for good.
It's incredible to think about the impact she's had on so many people's lives.
She's giving people permission to be themselves, to embrace their individuality.
And to fight for what they believe in.
Her message of self-love, acceptance, and inclusion is something that will continue to resonate for generations to come.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of Lady Gaga, what do you think is the biggest takeaway for our listeners?
I think her story is a reminder that we all have the power to make a difference in the world.
No matter who we are or where we come from.
We can all use our voices to create positive change.
She's a true inspiration.
Absolutely. And her journey is far from over.
I can't wait to see what she does next. But for now, let's leave you, our listener, with this thought.
What's one small step you can take today to embrace your own uniqueness, to speak your truth, to make the world a little bit kinder?
Remember, even the smallest actions can have a ripple effect. So go out there and be the change you want to see in the world.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the incredible world of Lady Gaga.
It's been a pleasure exploring her journey with you. Until next time.